Thank you for that. You've worried me a bit by describing email marketing as exciting. I don't know how I'm going to really make it that, but let's hope we can make it interesting. Can I just have a quick hand show? Who's actually engaged in some form of email marketing at the moment? So probably about 60% of you are doing it, the others not engaged with it as yet. It's good to see that, because I know there's lots of talk here about Web 2 and technologies moving forward, and I guess in that context email is maybe a more traditional means of communication. In fact, it's a bit more Web 1, if you like, in essence, although we are moving with email fast forward into the Web 2 area. I'll sort of demystify that a bit later, but what I want to do in this short time that we have together, 30 minutes or so, is just talk through a few principles of email marketing that help make it effective in business. Now, typically we deliver this as a workshop, so I'm cramming things into a short space of time. But as Chris mentioned, I will give you later just as something to take away, just to stimulate a bit of thought, if I will, just a document that I've entitled Top 20 Email Marketing Tips, if you like. I don't want to cram all those in and rush through them now, but I will pick out a few of those elements, if I may, and just share them with you, and we'll sort of throw those around and see if they make some sense and give you an idea of the kind of things that I'm talking about that you can do to get more value from campaigns. Email continues to be an extremely effective way to engage with customers, existing customers, potential new clients. And I think as SMEs, I run a small business myself based in Burton-on-Trent selling software, it's powerful in the same way that many other web technologies are, in that it allows us to be extremely competitive. You can almost sort of box above your weight, if you know what I mean, by differentiating yourselves from competitors. In some cases those are significantly larger and better resourced companies. Everybody does email marketing to some degree or others. I'm sure your competitors are doing this stuff as well, but the great opportunity for me is that lots of people do it really, really badly. And therein lies the opportunity for us, but just by taking a slightly smarter approach, just planning and understanding what we're doing to get value from it. But before you doze off, I wanted to start with this statement, which is, for me, is the single most important fact. I say single, there are actually 2 points in here which are the key imperatives to email marketing success. And as I talk through the next 30 minutes or so, these are at the heart of everything that I'm talking about, I think. And what I'm saying is that success in email marketing comes from continuously developing a trust relationship between you and your organisation and the recipient, the person that you're contacting. And it's also about consistently delivering valuable information. So that's nothing new there. I think any communications channel needs to have those two things at its heart, but email very significantly. So in terms of trust, the first one there, what I'm talking about is that people will remain subscribed to your communications, newsletters, sales communications, if they feel in control of the relationship. But the moment that they feel that you're trying to pull a fast one on them, sneak around their defences, bypass their spam filters, making it difficult for people to opt out of your communications and say stop, that's the moment that you lose them. You lose their trust, you lose their confidence, and that's when they start either just not reading your stuff, deleting it on site, reporting as spam perhaps, and damaging your online reputation. So you have to maintain that continuously through the relationship. And of course the other thing, like any form of marketing comms, is continually delivering value. So everything that you send out has to have content in there that's valuable, useful to people in some way. The moment that you fail on either of those imperatives is the moment that your campaigns start to wither and die. The number of people opening your emails drops dramatically. And if you've done this stuff, you'll know that it's quite hard to build a really good, strong list of subscribers to an email database. It's very much more easy to lose them, and when you've lost people, it's hard as heck to get them back again. So bear those things in mind, and the sheet I'll give you just covers in brief 20 tips that I've picked out. Now this isn't an exhaustive list, it comes from our sort of 4 or 5 years of using email in our business to gain new customers and also to develop stronger relationships with the people that we do business with our customers, contacts, etc., and somehow derive more value from those relationships. And I've sort of condensed them into 20. They're all covered in this list, but what I want to do is pick out a few of those areas now, probably half of them, just to touch on, just to give you a sense of some of the things that you can do, perhaps some of the more important areas. And the first one that I want to touch on briefly is develop a digital strategy. And I just want to start with a a slide which is shamelessly burgled from the internet, in this case from an eminent US research body called Piper Jaffray. And it's not a rocket science piece, it's quite a straightforward examination of the cost of a new lead acquisition, a new business lead, acquisition of a new business lead across a variety of different marketing methods. So over on the right hand side you've got a typical direct mail campaign, which might be a hard copy printed brochure, so you've got design costs, production costs, printing, you've got the postage of course, and then around that perhaps quite a bit of manual process, folding, licking, sticking, shoving, etc. So a high cost of getting your message across. If you move towards the left you've got things like traditional yellow pages, banner advertisements on websites, and then on the left hand side, my focus today obviously email marketing, also working quite closely in conjunction with search marketing. So obviously what I'm talking about is people going on to Google and Yahoo or what have you, putting in a word or a phrase and hoping that your website comes up near the top of page one. And those two elements together I think share this low communication cost, but even if the communication cost of email were akin to that of direct mail, for me it would be a far more valuable means of putting out my message, if only for the interactivity that this stuff gives you. So obviously with direct mail you may send a brochure out, you don't know if it's arrived, did it get to the right office address, did it find itself through its way through to the desk of the person to whom it was aimed, did that person sling it in the waste paper basket, did they open it, did they read the communication, if they read it of course did they find any value or anything interesting in the communication. Very, very difficult to get that sort of feedback, whereas with email there's transparency and visibility of all that kind of information, because what I'd recommend always these days is that what you don't do with email is open up Outlook and bundle 500 email addresses in the BCC line, but use an email marketing tool that's specifically designed for this purpose, of which there are a plethora, if I may use such a word, out there. There's lots and lots of these things out there. They're now very easy to use, very simple and visual tools. They're very low cost, there's lots of free ones, and if you're paying some money, we're just talking about a few small quid per month. But what they do is give you full visibility of how people respond to your mail. So we're getting to see who's opened the email, who's clicked on a link within the body of the email. So if it's a typical newsletter, maybe there are 4 or 5 or 6 articles. Of course, you need to be concise with the template. People don't read lengthy emails. None of us have got any time, especially small business people. We're all too busy. Time is the most valuable resource that we haven't got enough of. So people scan very quickly through emails. So typically what you do is have a number of articles with just a short sentence, a grabber, and then read more, click for more. People click on a link and go through to your website. So what we're doing with the technology is understanding who's opened, who's clicked, and using that information in other ways to engage further. So in our business, I guess 2 examples of that might be, one way is quite aggressive actually. So maybe we'll send out 5,000 emails to people offering to sell them an upgrade, and then we'll do a follow-up with telemarketing. I'm not suggesting at all that you abandon all other forms of communication. Email works very much in conjunction, hand in hand with other marketing communications methods. But telemarketing in our organisation, we can't do internally. We don't have people to do that, so we'll outsource that to a third party. But if I send 5,000 contact records to a telemarketer and ask them to follow that up, it's going to cost me for every phone call they make. So what we'll do is pre-qualify with email. So we'll run the email campaign and we'll look to see who's opened the email and clicked on links within the body of the email significantly, which demonstrate to me, of course, that there's some level of interest with that, in that communication, in that topic. And of course, we'll send the list of the 486 people that opened and clicked to the telemarketer, and then get them to chase after that person with a big stick and beat them into submission perhaps, or at least use it to impact upon and empower the next point of engagement. So often what we'll do is pre-qualify direct mailers. So we'll send out an expensive brochure pack, which does work really well for our stuff, but it costs us £1.83 every time we send that out. So rather than send that out to 5,000 people, we'll send it to the 247 people that again opened the email, clicked on a link, demonstrated some level of interest. So it's just a case of, can you use that information? Is it valuable to you in your business to know what to do to make the next step in moving towards a sale? So it's an aggressive pursuit. We see a very common cycle